welcome to this Charge Your Water with Healy session. I have to say, I'm really having a lot of fun with this challenge. And I have been for a while, but especially the last few days, because I've been preparing for this, I really wanted to offer you something like really exciting, something different. I know a lot of you may have seen this before on lots of different groups. There's people that have done PDFs and all sorts of things, but I wanted to show you my way of how I do it. And I've already reaped results in the last 24 hours. So I'm really excited to share what I'm doing today with you all so that you can start to really understand water a little bit better. And I have prepared a little mini presentation just to give a little bit of background, but I don't want to spend too long on it because I want to get practical with you all, which is why if you can, and if you're watching the replay, to pause the video now and go and get yourself a glass of water. So here I've got two glasses. Some of you will have seen a 2-cup method on Facebook. And I'm going to play a little bit around with that today. So we need 2 glasses for that. Now I've got myself a water carafe here. I mean, you can use any water bottle. Don't worry. It can be anything. It can be a jug. It can be just another glass, a bigger glass. And I've also got myself a teacup because we are going to do a mini tea ceremony today. So if you don't have tea, it's fine. I didn't really prepare you. If you want to go and pop the kettle on, you can. There is a whole method around making tea, which I'm going to share with you. But today, you know, even just having a cup of tea in your hands might be useful for you, but you can also just do this later in your own practice. Perfect. So welcome to those that have just joined. And I'm going to share my screen. And I will start with the presentation. If you have any questions throughout this, by the way, you can just put it into the chat box and then we can answer them later. Okay, so as most of you know, some of you will know a lot about water. Some of you will know already what I'm going to talk about a little bit. Some of you will hear it for the first time. That's fine. This is a very, very brief introduction. There is a whole rabbit hole of information if you want to go down this road of understanding water. But let's just talk a little bit about Dr. Emoto. So Dr. Emoto was a scientist that actually found out a lot about water. And as some of you may have seen some of his studies, his work was demonstrated that water is shaped by environment, thoughts, and emotions. Okay, and how did he do that? So he said, thoughts and intentions impact the physical realm. Okay, so he studied the scientific evidence of how the molecular structure in water transforms when it's exposed to human words, thoughts, sounds, and intentions. So you can go off and read about Dr. Masaru Emoto to get more information on this. But here's just a little bit of an example of what he has created. So you will have seen these pictures. When you write down something and you put it onto the water, or you put an intention into water, this is what he photographed. So on the left is evil, and on the right was thank you. And you can see that the water crystals that were photographed afterwards were so different. So what he said was, water exposed to loving, benevolent, and compassionate human intention results in aesthetically pleasing physical molecular formations. Water exposed to fearful and discordant human intentions results in disconnected, disfigured, and unpleasant physical molecular formations. Okay, he did this through magnetic resonance analysis technology and high-speed photographs. So that's just to give you a bit of an insight on how powerful water is. So we've got love and gratitude and you disgust me. Look at the difference there. We have eternal and peace. So you can really see the difference. They've also done a lot. Now you can't actually see because the screenshot's not showing, but they've actually done a lot of praying over water And I don't know why that screenshot isn't showing, but anyway, basically it's again another picture of what happens when you pray over water and the crystals that are formed. And they did this in clean and healthy water. And they also did it before and after in the Fujiwara Dam, which is the really amazing water there, in the Juhuin temple, excuse me if I'm saying this wrong. And they basically offer praying over this water, and then you can see the difference in this picture, but unfortunately it's not there, but I will be able to share that later with you. So you know this already, most of you. If you don't, you can go and have a look at some of this work. So what's actually been found recently is memory stored in water. Now, if you think about water, we are 70% water. It's actually been found that, or it could be, that our memory is stored in our water in the body. Now, how mind-blowing is that? Now, I have actually just found a 5-minute video, which I would like you to watch because it's really interesting. It's Dr. Zach Bush, who actually continued some of Dr. Emoto's work. And he just provides a few insights about water and memory, which I think is very, very important that everybody watches just a little bit about this. I'm just going to, I want to make sure that you can hear my sound. So just bear with me 1 second. I'm just going to stop sharing for the moment. I'm just going to make sure you can share sound. Optimize for video clip. Perfect. Very important.
We don't understand how water holds memory, but it does seem to be the only molecule that's got a memory to it. If you do something to it, if you add a blessing, holy water has been studied quite extensively, actually. And so if you have a priest bless the water, you can take 1 drop of holy water into 17 gallons of water, and you can still show electrical shift in the 17 gallons of water. And so there's something that's been embedded in there through the intention of prayer or the priest's blessing, whatever's coming out of that to create this quote-unquote holy water. There's something happening there. And I think we all have a priesthood within us. And so I don't think you need to find your Catholic priest to create holy water. I think each of us in our prayer and meditation before a meal can reshape the water within our glass or within the food itself through our blessing. And so it's interesting that every religion on the planet has told us to bless our food before we consume it. I think that may not actually be some demand for obedience to some omnipotent God. It may actually be a very specific interaction with water molecules and the way in which they can benefit our biology if blessed. And so a good example of the memory there, something like essential oils, or you take hydrosols or the water extracts of flower petals or the Bach flower essences in alcohol. Any of these structures have been shown to be able to change electromagnetic field properties very quickly of water and their systems. With our camera in the clinic, we're able to show that a Bach flower essence in 30 seconds can change your entire energy field. And so we have a huge capacity to create information streams from our interaction with nature around us, and it will change our water structure and our knowledge itself. One of the most profound macro examples of this is human memory. And so it turns out that in all of our extraordinary last 2 decades of neurobiology, we've learned more about the brain in the last 20 years than in the entire collective history of mankind. And so it's been an extraordinary acceleration of our understanding of the brain. But in all of that investigation, we've never found the hard drive of our memory in the brain. We don't have an area within our brain that holds long-term memory. We have this little tiny part that's about the size of the thumbnail that sits in your temporal lobe behind your ear there, that's called the hippocampus. And the hippocampus is responsible for taking short-term experience and turning that into long-term memory or accessing long-term memory. But there is no data bank found within the brain that holds that memory. We're starting to realize that it's probably held within the water structure of peripheral muscle and other tissues, such as the fascial planes, is where we actually hold the memories of our lifetime and perhaps lifetimes before us. And so that's a pretty bizarre thing to state, but if you think about your own experience, I'll bet you've experienced that in the midst of a massage, for no apparent reason, you suddenly have a huge emotional release, or you suddenly remember a face or a story or something from your life as they're working on your low back or the right ribs or wherever they're at. and you suddenly have that trigger of memory. In the transplant world, we've seen some really wacky experiences of this, where there's a great example coming out of one of the heart transplant cases. I think this was about 30 years ago now, if I'm doing my math right, but 30 years ago or so, this gentleman received the heart of a young female organ donor, and within hours of waking up in the post-op, he started having vivid memories of a traumatic murder, and within a couple weeks he had enough data that he ended up bringing it to the police to say, I think there's, this is what I'm experiencing. He had faces, he had names, he had an enormous amount of data that ended up solving her murder, apparently. So just a bizarre amount of information being trafficked in the water structure within that heart muscle that was transplanted into this individual. A lot of more benign or seemingly funny versions of that. It's not uncommon for these people to suddenly wake up with a kidney transplant or the like, and they suddenly have this overwhelming craving for McDonald's McNuggets or something like this, or beer, and they've never craved those things in their life. And what's happened is they've received the energetic stress within that kidney, or the memory within that kidney, that's been triggering this drug response of that donor to their little addiction with McDonald's or the other compounds or alcohols within their environment. So fascinating look that water is.
So very interesting, isn't it? How water is memory stored in water. And I mean, just by watching just that 5-minute video, you really start to understand how important water is in general, and how much we should be taking care of every single moment we have in contact with water should be taken into really, really careful consideration and love and appreciation. So, for example, when you wake up in the morning, when you take a shower, like before you take a shower, just saying thank you to the water and really just sending your intentions into the water. Let's get more aware of the water that we're in contact with. And every single time that we are connecting with water, it doesn't matter if it's dirty water or clean water, but if we connect with water at any time, that we are always realizing that memory is stored there, and how can we send good intentions into that water so that we can change the structure of water in the whole planet. And this is something that's really interested me recently. So something else, to just move past this video again, it's time to lose fear and guilt. Now, this is another video that I found, and it's just a 1-minute clip. And it's the same guy actually talking about why fear and guilt is so important to in this lifetime. And I'd like to share this with you, and then we're going to get practical. So don't worry. This is something that I just think is important that we look at. So I'm just going to stop sharing that for a minute, and I'm going to move to this one. It's already set up. It's just 1 minute.
The practice you are about
we have got
to learn is almost never described publicly.
Point being, vibration affects structure, and the memory of water is in this interface between the crystalline structure of the gel state of water in our cells and that electrical vibration from sunlight, from food translation into energy, all of these things. The exciting thing that we are getting at, to put this full loop on where are we right now in human history, is we are right now losing fear and guilt. And it's not everybody. I think there's, like we said, a dichotomous event happening right now. But if you would like to participate in the future of humankind, I would invite everybody to start to lose fear and guilt. And to do that, you have to lose judgment. There is no good and evil. There is no right and wrong.
Asking a lot here,
all
Zach.
These are All of these are constructs of the human ego.
Yeah.
We got to let go of the judgment to say, what if we are actually light beings showing up right now for the highest vibrational potential? And as we see this dichotomous shift happening, perhaps for the first time in mass on the planet between fear and guilt and the freedom of it, we're creating a new potential for human biology to have a genetics that then will wrap the water in a new state where we start to lose the memory of all the trauma, the emotional BS, the denigrating belief systems, and our water itself starts to get stripped of that negative information. And the water structure in the cell of somebody who has freed themselves of fear and guilt, who has cancer, is likely to free themselves of that cancer because they are vibrating at a higher frequency. And so it's very intriguing that by the end of this decade, wouldn't it be interesting if there was at least a large segment of the population that started to be able to hold more light energy in the water structure of the human cell than's ever happened before?
I 100% believe that. I can feel it happening. I can see things.
Okay, so that was just another really, really, I think, very, very intriguing presentations. If you want to go and watch the whole thing of that, I recommend you can go and do that. Okay, so let's just go back to this, and we're going to start by doing a bit of practical work. If you have any, comments on that, please share. I think that it's really exciting let's create a practice, and it's something that I really wanted to start doing with Healy Avalon, is to start building ritual, real heartfelt ritual into our Healy practice. It means that we can connect deeper with this amazing tool. And I'm going to be starting to create a lot more content around ritual, so that we're able to bring that closer to ourselves, to our heart, and in turn also start to transform all of this fear and guilt that we're carrying and trauma, and to be able to move into something more free and more light, as Zach was saying. So we're going to create a water ceremony with Healy. So if you haven't got your water yet, I recommend you go in to get that now. And just to give you a bit of insight, I have beside me 2 glasses. They're both empty at the moment. I have a carafe of water. I have a post-it note, which I've stuck on it. And I have my teacup as well. So we're going to choose a focus and intention. Now, everyone, we're going to do this together. So please, if you can, get yourself a bit of paper, and you're going to write down your current situation, something negative that's happening in your life at the moment. Okay. And it can be in any area. So choosing maybe an emotion that is teamed up with an area. So for example, some of you have seen my creating a focus and intention masterclass. If you haven't seen it, you can go back and watch that in a little while. But this is just to give you a bit of insight. It's not going to show me the picture, is it? Okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to just feel an emotion. I'm going to give you a few examples. Okay. So I have this emotional wheel here, which some of you know, it's actually the essential emotions wheel. I'm going to just stop sharing for a minute so you can see what I'm doing. So this is positive emotions on one side and negative emotions on the other side. And I love using this when I'm finding an intention or a focus. Okay, so, you don't have to use this, but it's quite nice to, if you're not sure how you're feeling, which is often me, I'm like, oh, what am I actually feeling here? It's a great tool. So, for example, some negative emotions are things like feeling wounded, feeling broken, feeling pained or burdened. You've got confusion, like distracted maybe, or confused, isolated. We've got anger and fear, and each of those have actually got a category on each one. So for anger, you've got like irritated, unforgiving, resentful, defensive. You've got fear-related emotions, things like scarcity, worry, anxiety, feeling damaged, fear of failure. So have a little think about what's going on in your life right now. something that you want to work on, just pick one thing, don't pick more than one, and then just write it down on a bit of paper if you can. So I'm going to just do it as well while we're here. I'll do it for the collective. So, and you're going to write the negative. So it's going to be something like, I'll do an example. I feel that I know that I feel scarcity. Okay, I feel scarcity in my life. I never feel like I have enough. Okay, that's quite a collective one. No one ever feels like they have enough. Okay, and we're going to put that on one of the glasses. This is something that you may have seen on the Facebook group already. So we're going to put that in this glass, okay? And then what we're going to do, this is just a pre-bit before Healy, by the way. Now, over here, I have got water, and I've also got a Healy program running, and I've actually put the wristbands around the bottle. And you can do this with your Healy at any time. So if you wanted to put on some programs, I'm going to show you a few examples in a little while. But right now I have got coherence on, and I'm putting coherence into the water structure. Coherence has got a lot of the universal frequencies. And this is what's going into the water now. You can also put the coil on and just put the coil next to the bottle, and that can also send the frequencies into the water, and you can do the whole program. That's just step one. That's one thing you can do by charging your water. And at the same time, I really recommend putting some affirmations on the bottle. I've got here love, freedom, and abundance. So that's been sitting on the bottle whilst we're charging and sending frequencies into the water. That's just a simple way. You can put the bottle on the flower of life. You can put the bottle on different structures. You can put crystals in the water. That's up to you. That's just one way of using Healy. I like to be even more creative. So what I'm going to do is I'm now going to pour this water into the glass, which has got the negative thing that's happening in my life. So now as we pour the water, take your time, because water is so precious. Everything's falling. Everything is so precious. I really want you to just like get your glass of water with the negative that's on there, and just close your eyes for just a moment and just feel the glass in your hands. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And I want you to just really think about that negative thing that's happening in your life and really accept it for what it is. And don't try to change it. And just really feeling the water in the glass in your hands, and send your acceptance into the water of this current scenario. Now, we're going to just pop this down for a moment now that you've set your acceptance on this. Okay, so now we've got another glass, second glass if you've got one. And you're going to take another post-it note. And you're now going to write the positive, what you desire. Okay, so it can be anything. And you can use the positive emotions from the wheel if you want, because it's a really nice way to get ideas. So for example, it has to be around the same subject, because it's the same intention. So I'm going to put I am abundant always and always have enough. Okay, super simple. It can be about anything. All right, and we're going to put that onto the empty glass. I've actually done it the other way around, but that's fine. Here we go. Excuse me. Got this tickly cough now. So I've got this other one on the glass. All right. And what we're going to do is we're going to take the first glass, which has the negative words on. And we've got the empty glass with the positive words. And I really want you to take both hands with both glasses, and you're going to close your eyes and just go back into your heart space. Say thank you for all the lessons you've taught me in this negative state, in this present state. And now you're going to intentionally pour the water at a really, really slow state into the positive glass. And at the same time, imagining that actually happening in real time. So we're going to pour, and here, listen to the water, listen to how it sounds as you pour it in. Every single final drop. And feel the difference of now knowing that that negative issue that's been happening in your life has gone. It's transformed into the positive. Okay, now you're going to be able to put that glass down, the negative glass, and be fine with it. And now you're going to hold on to the positive glass, and you're going to drink the water. Okay, now I think what would be even nicer, and this is like a whole process, is to put this into a kettle and boil it and then make tea with it, because tea is just such a beautiful thing to infuse this with. So it's going on a whole process with you. So for example, I have a kettle here. Ta-da! And what we're going to do is we're going to put it into the kettle. All right, so I'm going to pour it in. I'm going to really just do it with care. This is amazing. This is our sacred water that we're creating here. Okay, and we're going to boil the kettle. Now, the beauty of boiling a kettle is that you have to have patience, and this is all part of the process. So I'm just going to go over here. You won't be able to see me to do this. Okay, so that's now in the process of boiling. Now, if you're on your own in this moment, what you do is you just close your eyes next to the kettle. If it's in your kitchen, just stand with both feet connected to the ground. So you can all do this with me if you like, because it's currently boiling in the side. So close your eyes, and I'd like you all to send these great intentions into the kettle. Continue to pray into the water. Say thanks for this amazing transformation that has happened to the water, and just really enjoying the sound of the water boiling. Taking some deep breaths in and breathing out, and really creating a bond with the water in my kettle, which is for all of us, okay, or in your kettle, creating a bond with the water, the connection. Find love for the water, find love for your heart and the water inside your body. We are 70% water. Say thank you to the water in your body, and that your water in your body is connected to the water in the kettle. And just breathing into that space and how profound that feels. That the water in your body is talking to the water in your kettle, which is now being heated up. And just breathing in and enjoying the sound. And even finding excitement whilst you're waiting for this kettle to boil, like finding excitement. This is everything that you've ever wanted. This is the opposite of what's negative on that glass. And now it's boiling, and now it's like growing with heat. and fire and passion. Okay, now the kettle has just boiled, so I'm going to open my eyes with that, and I'm going to grab the kettle. Okay, so here it is. This is the water that we have charged with Healy, okay, already with one of the pink programs. You can run the whole program in the beginning of your session, okay? We are then putting an intention on the bottle. Then we're pouring them into the 2 glasses about the scenario that you would like to change in your life. And then we've poured it into the kettle, all right? We've now boiled the kettle and we have sent great intentions and patience whilst we've allowed the kettle to boil and filled it with passion and fire and dedication. So now we're going to create some tea. So here's my teacup right here. And I'm going to pour it really carefully and gently into the cup. And at the same time, I'm going to send positive affirmations into the cup. And just really enjoying the sound of creating yourself a cup of tea, okay? Because it is so beautiful when we really take care of ourselves with this self-care. And a cup of tea is the hug from the inside. That's how I see it. So our beautifully charged water is now in the cup. And you can choose a certain type of tea, whatever you like. You can then hold the tea in your hand. It's warm. And sometimes when it's warmer, it's easier to send intentions into the tea. For me anyway, it is. And I can really just feel it. I can feel the water in my hands. I feel the heat. It's so comforting. It's really, really beautiful just to feel that energy inside the cup that we've created. All right. And I'm going to put it down for a moment because it's quite hot. So you're probably going to need a bit of time, which is fine, because we're going to now go into the second phase of sending frequencies into our tea. I wanted to share with you something that I've actually started only recently, and Cheryl will know about this. I went to a festival, or we were at a festival on the weekend called Mind, Body and Spirit. And we got really connected with medicinal mushrooms. And I got myself a bottle of reishi. I don't know if anyone knows about reishi. Well, it's a specific type of medicinal mushroom, which is really good for lots of different things. I can't reel them all off for you now, but it's completely blowing my mind, because since I've been taking it, I feel super creative and I just feel really, really close to my heart space. So what I've been doing is I've just been adding a couple of drops into my tea. So you can choose something of your own. If there's something that you're taking that's a supplement or something that you can add, like an essential oil or just something that you're adding in. I usually just, like, with love, send love into the bottle of whatever it is that you want to add. And it can be like a back flower. It can, anything physical is always good, as well as frequency. So I'm just going to put 3 drops into my tea as an extra. Now I will share more about reishi later. But now the tea has got reishi in it as well, which is already super powerful. And you can also put your hand over the tea, feel the warmth of the tea, and really feel that already the steam kind of like coming onto the palm of your hand, and you're already receiving some of the frequency through a different form of steam. Okay, so we're really connecting right now to this. And it's beautiful. It's really beautiful. And this is how we need to connect with water. And this is how we should connect with our frequency device as well. It's the same thing. So now I've got Healy with the coil. So what I want to do is I want to do a scan, and I'm going to do a scan of the Alaskan Gem Elixirs today. But you can actually do a scan on any of the resonance databases. And I'm going to add the scan, and I'm going to pop Healy next to the cup like this. And I'm going to do a scan now. I will share my screen so you can see this happening. Okay, so you should Now, see my screen in just a second. Okay, so now you can see my screen. So I'm going to go into resonance. And I'm going to pick the Healy Avalon Lounge so that everyone's receiving this. Okay. Now you'll do this on your own. You can do this for yourself. So it's a lot of fun, isn't it, doing this? And when you take so much time for yourself to imprint your cup of tea, so powerful. Okay, so we're going to just do Alaskan Gem Elixirs for the group. So if everybody wants to just connect with their heart space right now, okay, just close your eyes for just a moment. I'm going to start the analysis on the group. Really connecting within yourself. Breathing in deeply through the nose and breathing out fully. Breathing in through the nose one more time. And breathing out fully. Okay, so let's have a look at seeing what's come up for us. And we're going to add this into the tea. Okay, so at the very top, we've got Jadeite Jade, a vibration of peace, balance, and timeless simplicity. Helps us to stay centered in the moment with an awareness and acceptance of our true essence. We've then got Aquamarine coming up. So that brings calm and quiet clarity to an overactive mind. Increases the ability to assume a neutral and calm state of mind, helps us build a spiritual oasis of cool, clear receptivity. We have then got Spectrolight, infuses the entire energy system with full spectrum light, renews and refreshes our perception, helps us to see the immeasurable beauty in the mundane and the divine in the ordinary. Love that. Then we've got hematite. So this strengthens the energetic boundaries in the emotional body. It promotes emotional independence rather than codependence. Helps us to maintain a state of compassion, detachment, while witnessing an intense emotional experience in another and contain our own emotional experiences in a responsible way. I love that one as well. And finally, we've got Smoky Quartz, which is great for grounding and calming, and it synchronizes the body energy with earth energy, regulates and stabilizes the detoxification of unwanted energies from the physical, emotional, and mental bodies. So as you can see there, I love the Alaskan Gem Elixirs because they really have a lot of positive frequencies in there, but also they're nice support. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send this. I'm going to vibrate it. Now, yesterday when I was practicing this, I was sending it for 5 minutes and 59 seconds, which you can see this one here. But for time, I'm going to just do 1 minute 20 for today. Okay. But you can choose the amount of time you want to do it. Maybe whilst it's still really, really hot. 5 minutes 59 is a really good time whilst your tea bag is brewing and whilst it's not so hot, while it's cooling down a little bit. So I'm going to just send it. And now it's been a while since it's been sitting there. So I'm going to just send the frequencies and remembering to really like bring yourself into the process. It's not just Healy sending frequencies. You are also kind of connecting with Healy, and your intention, your thought is also going into the tea. Okay, so really connect with it, really connect and see the tea receiving these frequencies. Like really imagine, really feel the tea receiving the frequencies and infusing with everything that we've done today so far with this new new way, this new transformed way of dealing with what you've actually dealt with, and you've now transformed it into something new, and now you're supporting the process with these frequencies into the tea. So just taking a deep breath in when you're doing this, and then breathing out, and really just loving this process. Put your whole heart into the process. Now, obviously, if you're doing this and you just want to make a cup of tea in the morning, you don't want to put it in the bottle first. I mean, you can have a bottle like this all the time, you know, that's already filtered water with an intention on it, and you can have it in your kitchen all the time, and then you can bring that into your teapot. You don't have to do the 2-cup method. You know, you can do bits of this, or you can do the whole process for something really big, and you create your own ceremony. Okay, this is what I want to show you. You can create a whole ceremony on one specific issue that's going on in your life, and you can transform it with charging your water with Healy and bringing it on a whole process. Okay. When sending resonance scan, do you send to yourself or create such as water I drink? I personally put my name on, I scan myself, and then I put it onto the tea, and I put it beside the tea. That's how I do it. But it's a really good idea if you want to create an object in your Healy, take a picture of your teacup and then scan the water. That's a really good idea, Cheryl. I love that. And then sending the frequencies to the cup. So again, you might find that easier, because I know when you have trauma or something that's happened in your life, we create these blocks, energetic blocks. And when we imagine the healing happening to us, it doesn't go in. And for those that you may have seen my diagram that I created, it's like, it's on my, I think it's on the Batch Flowers masterclass. And there's the personality level that doesn't allow the frequencies to come in. And actually the flower essences are a great way to dissolve those blocks anyway. But actually, like, it's the same thing when you're doing healing on yourself. You may have an unconscious block which is stopping you from receiving the frequencies. So how about like doing something like sending the frequencies into your cup and then drinking it? And it might actually create a stronger result, because you're drinking the water. It's a physical thing, and you're feeling the physical thing going down your esophagus into your stomach and going through your whole body. And it's a really gorgeous practice. It really, really is. So it's really great if we can bring this ritual into our frequency practice. And I am going to do a lot more of this. It's a new thing. So once you've sent the frequencies into your cup, so it should be a bit less hot now. We're going to take it and we're going to hold it in our hands, and we're just going to say thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, and you're going to really take your time when you drink the drink. So first of all, if you don't have a tea and you haven't had a chance to do the tea, and you've got your glass of water which has poured from the negative into the positive, you're going to take your glass of water. All right, if you've managed to make a tea of some sort from your glass of water, you're going to hold that in your hand. You're going to feel it. Okay, you're going to feel the heat, you're going to feel the coldness, you're going to feel whatever it is that you feel in your hands. And you're going to take a sip. You're going to feel the warmth going down your throat, and you're going to really enjoy this cup of tea, because it's full of really good frequencies which are going to transform your life if they haven't already. Okay, so enjoying your drink. If you drink the water, you can take your time, or you can drink the whole glass, but just really do it with a real conscious awareness that you are receiving the frequencies in the water memory of your body. And this is the difference, right? The water in our body stores memory. It has been said, as you heard on the video earlier, that the water in our body can actually hold all of our memories, including all of the trauma that we have had in our lives growing up, our addiction problems, all of the self-destruction that we've been doing to ourselves. And we are going directly with water. We are sending frequency into our water, infusing it, imprinting it, and we are now drinking the water. And that water is infusing with the water in our bodies. Now, in that video earlier, I'm just going to stop sharing this screen for the moment. So on that video earlier as well, which we're showing, you can watch it all, they talk about the cell membrane and how water actually gets into the cell. Now, the cell is, it can be that. So as you know, all of the different things that go in and out of our cells, they have like pathways that they go in and out. But water doesn't have a pathway to get into the cell. No one really knows how the water gets into a cell or not. And actually, when the water gets into the cell, it turns into this sticky, crystallized gel. And that's when we have an operation. If you think about it, when you have an operation, we are 70% water. Why don't we have water going everywhere? And it's not blood, okay? Blood is something else. It's the actual water in the cells. So actually what happens is it's this sticky gel. We won't pour water anywhere. And this water is held inside the cell. Now you can go and watch this video afterwards and learn a bit more about that. But it's really interesting how we can absorb water into our cells. And when we really understand, when you really understand what's happening with the water in our bodies, can we really know what's possible when we charge our water with Healy? When we charge our water with Healy, we're able to transform on a cellular level everything, which is all about water, which is why everyone's always talking about water is the most important thing. So if you are dehydrated, it's really important that you are hydrating yourself. And the funny thing is, as well, is that all of this bottled water, it's actually stagnant water. And we've never drank so much water in our lives. And a lot of people are saying, or scientists are saying, that we have never been more dehydrated in our lives. We drink all this water. It doesn't mean that you're hydrating yourself, because the stagnant water is actually not being absorbed into the cells, as the body doesn't like that type of water. It's stagnant. Now, you can go and do the scientific research. It's something about clumping or clustering of water structure. And it happens when your water is going down the pipes, and it actually changes the water molecules, which means that we are not getting the water as we should. It needs to be in flow state. It needs to move, which is also a really nice way why I have actually gone through the whole process of pouring the water into the glass, boiling the water with the kettle, pouring the water. So we're bringing that flow state back into the water structure, as well as imprinting it with our Healys. So we're really, really seeing the whole benefit that we can create with water into our bodies, okay, into the memory of our bodies, which is then transforming, or has the potential to transform trauma or anything blockages in our cells into positive. All right, so hopefully that's useful for you to know. Praying to the water, so you're saying thanks to the water as you drink your tea, as you drink your water. So I just want to share a little bit more of the presentation, just so you can see it on a visual way, because I haven't fully finished it. I kind of jumped ahead and did the whole thing. So we chose a focus and intention, right? And then we talked about, look, there's the positive wheel. Okay, so when you go back into this presentation, I will share it with you anyway. But you know, we've got these great wheels that help us to choose feelings that we want to feel. All right, and I have a negative one as well. All right, and then this is the 2-cup state. So here is a picture of the full water cup. And here is the empty cup. The present state is what we fill first up with the water, where we imprint the water with the negative, and then we pour it into the positive. And this is just a few ideas on how you can work with individual microcurrents, like I showed you at the beginning with the bottle here, with the wristbands that's attached to it, which you can also do with the coil, as I said. But you can really put any program into this. So, you know, we've got emotional well-being, we've got protection, we've got activation, which helps you to perform at the top of your game. We've got relaxation, you know, if you're struggling with stress or you need to calm your nerves. We've also got like clean all, pure, which is great for detoxing the water. If you don't have a water filter, this is great to do, pure, so that you know that you're actually imprinting the water with detoxing and the pure energy. Okay, we've got positive thoughts that you can put into the water. We've got nerves, we've got coherence. There's really so many different ones that we can imprint, and you could do the whole program, okay, with the coil or with the wristbands. So these are all the different resonance databases. You know, you can, if you want to pick a specific focus or intention, then you can just pick the database that you feel works best for you. So if it's more of a quick thing and you don't have time to do the whole pink app program on your water bottle, and you want to just drink a glass of water and you want to do a quick job where you want to send frequencies with resonance, then you can just pick something that really goes with what it is you want to work on. So the flower remedies are good for emotions. You know, you can pick the minerals if you want to put minerals back into your water. You can do I Ching, which would be good for any kind of life direction issues, or if you're stuck or feeling blocked in your life and you want to find a direction, you can use I Ching. There's really so many different ones. And like I said here, this is just like some pictures of doing the Alaskan gem elixirs, which I did today. And I infused that into the water, into the tea. And here, look, I've just put it all here. So you can vibrate for 5 minutes, 59, or you can do it for 12 minutes and 40 seconds. It's up to you. You can do it twice, depending on how long you want to wait for the tea. So create a tea ceremony, express gratitude. You can also sing a mantra into the music. You can burn incense, you can light a candle, play music, and add affirmation labels to your water to create the perfect ceremony to be able to bring your water to the best frequency that you can. And let's all take a moment to really to have an intention that we are going to really choose to bless water more. Choose to really appreciate the water every single day that you drink. It's not just drink for hydration. It's not just, oh yeah, let's have like, you know, a quick tea. I haven't got much time. Quick down the water. I'm not hydrated. Down. Like take a moment to put your hands around the bottle and to send good vibrations and good positive affirmations. And I've been doing this for a while now, and even more in the last 24 hours, because I've been really practicing this a lot more. And already my day is brighter. Already my day is easier. And it is better if you just have one intention, because then you can see the results faster and the universe knows what you're working on. So perhaps you could do this tea ceremony once a week. And for people who are members, we are going to do a tea ceremony once a week together. It's a new thing, and it's going to be live in the Facebook group. And we're going to be doing it together so we can all come together. I don't know which day yet, but you'll see about it soon. But we're going to come together and we're going to do a tea ceremony. And we're going to really make this a weekly thing where we're really putting our intentions into the water and creating ritual around working with our Healys. So I hope that you found this useful. I just want to open up the floor for questions. I'm just going to check the chat box as well. So I need to hear this again. How do we watch the replay? Yes, Aline, you will get the replay to your inbox. But you are a member now, so you'll be able to go and watch this live on the Facebook group directly. It's live now, so you can go and watch the replay. And you can watch the replay on the e-learning suite, like all the members can see it there. That will be uploaded there in the next couple of days. When you send the pink frequencies, what percentage do you do? Yeah, 100%. Definitely, 100%. Any more questions?
I've got a question, Abbey.
Oh, I don't hear you, Cleo.
Oh, can you hear me now?
I don't know why.
Oh, I'll type.
Strangely.
Yeah.
Or maybe if you've got something plugged in, like headphones or something. Is it me? Maybe it's me. Let me take off my headphones.
Can you hear me now?
It could be me, Cleo. Yeah, I hear you now. Thank you. Sorry about that.
Okay, that's what I didn't know. Say if you have like a big jug of water and then you drink some of it, do you think you could then put more water in and leave it for a while and it would still have the same vibes, wouldn't it?
Yeah, because once you've imprinted one molecule of water, then they all talk to each other like the cells in our bodies. It's like cloning it. So for sure, that's possible. Yeah, definitely. Which is what I did with the tea, because there was already a little bit of water in the kettle.
Yeah.
And I poured it in, and actually that infused, and then now that's all infused together. So yes, you can increase. So that's why on pilgrimage. So I'm reading so much about this at the moment. And people do like water pilgrimages, and they bring like a little bottle of water, and they've walked around the UK. I know they do it here, they do it around the world. And they bring a little bottle, and they put a drop of water, all the sacred water springs that they come across, and they bless the water, and then they take some of the water and they add it to the little bottle, and then they carry that around. So like if you like traveling, it's a really lovely way to collect sacred water in that way. And then you can add drops to your water when you get home, so that you're already taking in the blessings of all the water around the world. So yes, that does work. It's a gorgeous way, isn't it, to share sacred water. Anyone else want to share anything?
Yeah, I just wanted to say I'm quite new to Healy, but it's very interesting, the whole thing around water. And when I used to be into Hinduism, we'd be chanting mantras like maybe 125,000 times. The water was always there, and then you take some of that water, and it never gets diluted. So you'd put some in your drinking water, but also you'd put some in your bath, and in India, they traditionally have a bucket and a jug, so you're pouring the water over your head. Yeah, because water is the carrier of energy. So yeah, but no, thank you very much. Very useful. Just got one other question, right? Is if just say for example in the morning, right? I've got on my Healy, I've got something set up for my wife, my son, and myself, the three of us. Could I run this on a large bottle of water in the mornings, and then use that water for my son's water bottle, any cooking we do, any teas?
Yes. The answer is yes.
Yeah.
You can, everything that you can do with your Healy, it's powerful to put it into water for exactly the reasons why I explained earlier, is that actually if there's any kind of blockage with the person on a physical level with frequency directly to the body, water is another way for it to access the body, for it to come into the body so great to put that in his water bottle.
Okay, just one last.
And if anything, it could be, yeah, go on.
With the resonance, can you put that up against the glass bottle without anything plugged into it, or do you need a coil or the wristbands?
Okay, so I know a lot of people use the Healy without wristbands and without the coil. Now, what happens is if you don't have the coil or the wristbands in, the quantum sensor inside of it doesn't get an accurate measurement of the frequencies that you need. However, it will guess, and it will send those frequencies out. And all the frequencies in every program are around the topic in which you're running. So for example, you pick relax, it will have all the frequencies that are around for relax. However, it won't be able to actually measure it from yourself, it won't be visualized. So what happens then is you will get frequencies, but it won't be that. So yes, it will work, but it won't be as individualized as if you would do it from yourself. So what it's doing really is it's reading the water and sending the frequencies into the water, which the water needs to have more balance. That's what it's doing. So if it can't fully read the water, then it's going to send frequencies anyway. So if you don't have a coil, you don't have the responder, it's not the end of the world. It will send it into it. It's just not going to be as specific, if that makes sense.
Is any one system better than the other? So I've got the coil, these little sticky pads, and the wristband. Is there any one which will be more potent?
Okay, so like I actually just posted a 15-minute video into the group in both Healy Avalon and in the lounge about the coil, and it's so good. It's really explains how coil works and on a real scientific level, which I'm sure you're going to love. So go and check that out after this. But how it works on a brief way, to explain it from my side, is that the wristbands are working on a physical way, usually directly into the body. The coil is working on the field. For water, I think that it doesn't matter which one you use. You can try both and see which one you prefer. It's really, the water is it's going to pull everything in like a sponge. So whether it's the coil or whether it's the wristbands, it's going to work.
Brilliant. Thank you for confirming. Thank you.
You're welcome. So I'll leave it there. If anyone has any more questions, you can feel free to message me directly. If you're watching this as a one-time video today, like a one-time session, you will receive this in your inbox. Hopefully by today, latest by tomorrow. Like I said, members, go and watch the replay in the Facebook group, or receive it or go and watch it on the e-learning suite. Thank you so much for joining me, everyone, and I'll see you on the next session on Thursday. Take care. Bye-bye.